to this video. We are in part 3 of this episode, Making Cooperative Count. And we will talk about the issue of remittance of deductions to cooperative societies by IPPIS. There are already a lot of discussions that are going on around this particular issue, and we felt that FGAS should be able to make some contributions to that. By the way, IPPIS means Integrated Personnel Payroll System. It is the harmonized platform of workers, from where they receive their salaries, particularly government people. They receive their salaries from IPPIS. So before IPPIS came into being, there were a lot of difficulties that cooperative societies were having in terms of getting their dues and savings from their members who are perhaps in government services. Most of the time, the remittances or the payments by these members were always irregular. They come late, and sometimes you have to look for these members to pay. And the difficulty was that ministries were actually not paying salaries at the same time, so you don't actually know when people have been paid and when they have not paid. You ask some people, they tell you they are still expecting, whereas they could have received their money and all that. So there were a lot of irregularities then. So when IPPIS came into being, it was warmly received because it was expected to harmonize payments so that it will become possible, to receive funds from different members almost at the same time, and then things will become more timely and the irregularities suffered will reduce. In fact, so much hope was placed on IPPIS by cooperative societies. And it worked for some time. But lately, there are quite a lot of complaints from cooperative societies. They are complaining of almost the same kinds of things that were happening previously. They say the remittances by IPPIS is late in many cases, and it is irregular. Sometimes it is actually not remitted. So these are problems currently faced by cooperative societies who are expecting to receive their funds from IPPIS remittances. And now, what are the problems that are being complained? People are saying that there are alleged shortfalls in terms of budgets of MDAs and institutions where members receive their salaries. Some are saying that there are bureaucracies and red tapeisms that bring about the delay in remitting these funds from salaries of members of the cooperatives. And some are attributing the problem to sharp practices and collusion, by different people. And some are even saying that there are outright diversion of funds. Sometimes these funds run into millions of naira. So whatever happens, this causes all kinds of problems for cooperative societies. The first one is that the cooperative societies are unable to plan and implement their projects. Secondly, there is the problem that they are unable to achieve their goals for the cooperative society itself, and sometimes goal for their members. And then thirdly, it brings about a lot of mistrust in the cooperative societies by their members. So these are all challenges for cooperative societies. There are challenges for their members as well, because the expectations are often challenged, by the inability to have free flow of funds for implementing cooperative society projects. So what do we have to do? The situation has persisted and something has to be done. So we are thinking that stakeholders must come together to look at the problems. Stakeholders like the Cooperative Federation of Nigeria, the Apex Cooperative Society in Nigeria. Stakeholders like a committee of directors of cooperative societies, they need to wade into the matter. And stakeholders like the cooperative societies themselves, they don't push out the problem to others. They must be part and parcel of it. So what we think needs to be done is for these stakeholders to come together to form a monitoring group to follow up these problems with IPPIS, so that they'll be able to know when funds remitted, when IPPIS receive the funds, and then try to pressure IPPIS to remit the funds to different cooperative societies. This should be done monthly, or at most every other month, bi-monthly. I think that doing it quarterly is too late, because by then the remittances would have overstayed. So it is something the monitoring group must do every month or every other month. The next thing that needs to be done is to look for a way of criminalizing this act of late remittances and sometimes non-remittances at all. It needs to be criminalized, and this can be done by passage of laws, appropriate laws. When we are talking sometimes of a need to amend or have a second look at the cooperative law, these are some of the things that need to enter the law. Criminalization of delays in sending these remittances. It needs to be done, and of course, whoever is found guilty needs to be penalized. There must be consequences for organizations not doing what they're supposed to do. So we come to the end of this program at this point in time. Thank you and God bless.